It has become apparent to us through our laboring in the legislature that there's a missing piece to our strategy. And I have a brief, just a threefold PowerPoint. This is going to be about 5 minutes and we'll be done. But if we could get the first PowerPoint slide up. We have an educational organization, the Florida Family Policy Council. We're a 501c3 tax-deductible group. And we also have a 501c4, and we do this all because the law says we're supposed to. And we try to keep, I'm a lawyer, but I have several lawyers that advise me because this gets to be pretty complicated. But we have a 501c4, and under our C4 we do lobbying, and we can do some activity as well. But there's really a difference between what we could call a movement and a moment. I think that with the marriage amendment, we had an amazing moment in history. We had a goal, we had something that we did, and we accomplished it. But then it was over again. And so we need to have a more comprehensive approach. And so in addition to the 501c3 that does education, writes issue papers, that's important. Our 501c4 does our advocacy. Anytime we ask you to vote for or vote against, or we ask you to tell your legislator to vote for or against, that's a lobbying activity, so we do that under our C4. But then there's also the notion that, as we saw in the last 3 or 4 years, if we get folks elected and they say they're pro-life, but they just don't do anything about it, what do we do? You know, there's not much we can do unless, of course, we can engage in direct political activity. And so, again, we have the C3, which is very effective. We have the C4, but where we're lacking, generally in our movement as a whole, we're lacking, not just in our organization, we're lacking the ability because of the fact that we don't have the proper structure in place, and because we don't have, we haven't thought this through enough, we're lacking the ability to engage directly in political elections and campaigns. And so it is my privilege to announce to you that we are filing papers on Monday with the Division of Elections to form the Florida Family Action PAC. We are going to very selectively endorse and support state candidates who are demonstrated leaders or potential champions for pro-life and pro-family values. This is not going to be something we throw around lightly. Look, you can't get elected in a Republican primary without saying you're pro-life. You can't. You have to say that. But it's meaningless, as we've seen in the United States Senate race. And hopefully we'll see. I mean, this vote on 1142, it literally is a litmus test for if you're pro-life. Because the bill not only deals with ultrasound, it deals with federal funding of abortion. And if Governor Christ does not sign this bill, he'll be the first governor in Florida's history to allow federal and state funding for abortions. And so we pray that he will do the right thing. But we don't want to be too involved with this announcement. We just want to let you know we're starting this PAC. We're going to engage in a whole new level of advocacy on supporting candidates. We would love to get your check if you want to be the first one to write a check to the PAC. It's unlimited contributions. The PAC itself has a limitation, but for any amount for Florida Family Action PAC. Now, to close our evening out, how many of you feel like we need a political cleansing? I am praying that in November, there is a serious, serious cleansing.